Hi everyone, it's Charlie here again at Northwest Honda Supercentre, and I'm delighted to introduce to you Mike, who is one of our Northwest Honda customers. Mike will openly tell you he's ridden Hondas for years, so of course there's a bit of a natural bias. However, what Mike I think didn't perhaps expect earlier this year was when he came in to test ride the new 2022 Honda Goldwing Tour. Mike was coming from, he'll tell you himself, a VFR 1200, loved the bike, it was everything that he ever wanted, wasn't sure how he was going to get on with the Goldwing, so we thought what better than to bring him here ourselves and to ask him directly. So tell us, Honda Goldwing Tour, when you came for your test ride, you've met with Chris, what was your expectations?
Well, the thing is I'd previously had a Goldwing in the past. I had a 2010 Goldwing, and 2010 Goldwing, incredible, amazing bike. It's just I wasn't ready for the Goldwing, and the Goldwing wasn't ready for me. Every rider out there knows you go through the phases of what bike, and you always want multiple bikes for different types of rides. But my wife wanted to tour with me. We got the Goldwing. And it's just an amazing bike. They always were and still are today. But I wasn't ready for it at that time. And prior to that, I'd had Pan-Europeans. So I came off the Goldwing and went back onto a Pan-European. And I have done hundreds of thousands of miles on Pan-Europeans and still will never have anything bad to say about the bike, having done those thousands of miles on them. But strangely enough, I actually saw a TV film some time ago. I can't remember the film, but I remember seeing this bike in the background. I went, that's not a Pan, and it's not a Goldwing. I thought, what is it? And it was a bagger, but just the shape and everything. I went, I've got to find out more. I've got to find out more. It was just stunning to look at, probably on the Californian highway. And so this bike, obviously, it's the Goldwing, and the minute I saw it, it was just that perfect combination of everything that a Goldwing offers, and yet it looked more like a Pan. It was more streamlined, it was lighter. I thought, yeah, I've got to go and have a look at this bike.
So is it fair to say when you came into Northwest Honda then you were probably looking more towards the Goldwing bagger, as we refer to it as, or were you open to the tour? Were you aware of the tour?
I'd seen the bagger on the movie. I'd always tour, because if I'm going to go do it with Pans, I've always had the panniers and the top box and everything else. So if I'm going to travel, and that's part of the change is every rider goes through. I mean, this wasn't about how fast I can go, it was more how far can I go. And you reach that point in life where actually you focus on what you want to do next with your biking career.
Yeah, of course.
Continue. So it was really that how far can I go. So I think it was always the tour that was going to be the one.
We've got here at Northwest Honda's, you came, we've got the vivid blue, which captured quite a lot of people's imaginations really, because it's not something that Honda are typically known for, this kind of edgy, more style, and the blue seemed to really appeal. So obviously we went and got the blue one because that's what we do. So we've got the blue demo, which you then took out. So you met our Honda Goldwing Specialist, Chris.
Yeah.
He then obviously introduced you to the bike, taught you around the bike. What was your first impressions?
Well, I've always been a red guy, and I've had the candy reds and the pearl reds and everything else. So actually, when I came in, you had the blue as the demo. My head was still saying, go for the red. I suddenly got on the blue, and literally within minutes of being on the blue and taking it out for a test ride, you could see heads turning, looking at what is this thing. One guy actually wound his window down and went, cool, he went, cheers, it's not mine, it's a demonstrator, but I'll take it. And suddenly the blue, it popped, and the blue was the one that was available and everything else. I think for all the bikes I have ever ridden, both in the past and the Goldwing and everything else, I was less than 30 minutes on this bike and I went, pfft. And I genuinely, I don't think Honda have ever built a better bike.
Yeah, we brought the similar sort of feedback to Chris, our specialist. We expected you to be out for 2, 3, 4 hours. We actually run 24 and 48-hour test rides on the Goldwing, so you can really get the full benefit of taking it home, put it in the garage, see how it feels. You can get a full sort of experience with the Goldwing before you need to commit. That's something we do here at Northwest Honda. It's something that's done across Honda throughout because they're so proud of their iconic Goldwing. They know you can get the absolute experience. You were out for like 20 minutes and you came back and like, get me one.
I think you just know. You know, I've
Okay.
ridden bikes for a lot of years, and it was the precision of the bike. We know about its legendary comfort, its accessories, and everything else, but the precision and the movement of the bike, and I stand by the statement today that I've used, it's like just riding on a magic carpet. It is just unbelievable. Its flow, its movement, its fit.
How does it feel weight-wise? Now, obviously, this is something, let's not make a secret about this. I can't ride it. It's just pure nerves that make me stop riding this bike. There's no way, there's no reason why it outweighs me. It's just a pure confidence thing for me. I look at it and think, oh my God, that's a big bike. How does it feel on the road and how does it feel stationary?
Okay. Genuinely, is it a big heavy bike? Yes. You do. When you are riding that bike, you do not notice it. The low center of gravity for the weight, it's so planted. It goes where your eyes are. It's that simple, and it doesn't feel big and heavy at all. Even at the slower speeds, and when you are literally moving along at traffic lights in slow moving traffic, you are not thinking about putting your feet down. It is that
it's
stable.
Holding. Now yours is the DCT as well, the dual clutch transmission. So for all intents and purposes, it's a twist and go. So how does that perform for you in slow moving traffic? We've had kind of mixed opinions. We usually generally say it's down to just getting used to it, but you know, what's your take on it?
We used to drive manual cars. It wouldn't cross my mind to drive a manual car these days at all. So automatic technologies have come on so far. So
in slow moving traffic, it handles, you don't,
it's
there's
effortless.
no...
And the rolling on and off of the throttle, you don't get, there is no snatch, there is no grab. It literally, it is so controllable. It doesn't catch you out. The only time you are really, and the brake, because the bikes are so stable, when you are braking, because of the braking system and everything else, you can virtually bring it to a stop before you even think about putting your foot down. It is that stable. Brilliant. And therefore you really don't sense the weight, maybe unless you're putting it on the center stand, you know, and things like that's the only time you're ever going to really notice the weight.
Difference.
You genuinely do not feel the weight.
Now, I know you've done a bit of an upgrade on your centre stand. I'm led to believe Simon Carter here in our sales department sort of sent you in the direction of a bit of an upgrade or a little bit of an enhancement with regards to moving this bike onto its centre stand. So what did you do?
It became available.
And what did you buy?
A ride-on, ride-off stand.
Okay.
Now, I actually had no problem with the centre stand. I'm comfortable putting a bike with all of it on the side. Yes, you'll notice the weight, and you do have to position your body right for the lift and everything else. The ride-on, ride-off has made a huge difference because you can literally be on the bike anywhere you need to be. And without dismounting and then doing it, you literally just slide your foot back and then just use the reverse gear and just mount it onto the stand. And when you're ready, ride off. That has made a world of difference.
So is that something that you can fit yourself, or how did you go about that?
For the sake of the price of the stand and the price of the fitting, just if you're confident, do it yourself. I'd always trust a Honda technician so that you know you've got the right settings and the right movement. It's not a big job. It's a quick fix. It's
like a while you wait sort of job with our technicians here.
It's in and out in the day.
Brilliant.
And you will find, you know, now in fairness, when you're the ride on, ride off, you make sure that the wheel, your rear tire is still touching the floor. So if you do want to actually get the bike off and everything else, then you're going to have to put a block under the center stand to do it. So the compromise is that the rear wheel is touching the floor just to give it that extra stability. But I'm loving this, the ride on, ride off. Yeah.
So any other modifications that you've done to the bike? Is there anything that you felt that you had to go and buy as an accessory for it?
I think most Honda Goldwings will accessorize to death. I think the bike's got that much kit on it, you do not need to accessorize it. What have I done? I've put the ride on, ride off stand, and I've put the rider backrest on. And that's simply because next year I will be touring. I haven't had the bike long. I know when I first took it out, I sort of indicated that I might do 5,000-6,000 miles a year. 3 months in, I've done 4,000. I'm thinking I might need to adjust the mileage.
Just adjust that contract slightly.
don't want to get off it.
Yeah.
There is, the minute I get on that bike and ride it, the one thing that hits my head every time is, how far are we going today?
Yeah. Where can we go next?
Where can we go next?
Yeah.
It
Brilliant.
is just that good. Niggle, I have only one niggle with the bike, and that is the fuel fill.
Okay.
The fuel fill is tricky. It
Right.
does not.
In what way?
Well, when the speed of petrol pumps today, they're used to a car, and all of a sudden it jets
hits.
in.
Yeah.
If you are not careful, it will blow back.
Right. Okay.
And you'll either the seat will get covered or you'll get covered. So
no, I do.
the fill of the tank, you've got to be a little bit more gentle with that trigger.
Okay.
You know, literally, you've got to bring the nozzle out of the thing, but you go for the slow fill. Otherwise, you get a false fill.
Right.
When you think it's clicked off, it's not.
It's not. You've got half a tank or something.
So you start peering down into this little hole, and you're thinking, "Am I there yet?"
Yeah.
So it's a slow fill. That's if I have one niggle with it, it's that.
It's just about the technique
it's
of
the
fueling the bike.
Yeah,
that's
because you can't just go boom.
Yeah.
A lot of the normal bikes, you can see it. You turn the nozzle and you give it a good old shot. But this one, so that's the only niggle with the bike.
Okay.
Be careful with the fuel fill. Other than that, I have nothing but praise for the bike.
Brilliant. So going forwards then, obviously you're on your Goldwing now. Clearly you're loving it. What's the future for you in the Goldwing? Some people we know have come in and start looking at maybe having another bike to go alongside it. They replace their cars with it. Some are looking in 2 to 3 years' time to replace for a new Goldwing, as we just announced the 2023 colours, albeit not many changes on the actual bike itself, just more of a colour palette upgrade. What's your thoughts going forward with your bike now?
A Goldwing's an expensive piece of kit. And it's great. And people say, do I need 2 bikes? Do I need 3 bikes? Or do I need a Monday or a weekend or a hack and this, that, and the other? The Goldwing will do everything you need. And it satisfied me. I would line them up in the garage. But this one has ticked every box. It's made me ride safer. Instead of, as they say, it's not how fast I can go, it's how far I can go. That's my definition on that one. Would I always have another bike? I think I'd always go for another. But today I'm looking more at the new generation Uber scooters.
Yes.
You know, as a commute, as a hack, and things like that.
Yeah.
But it would not take 1 ounce of shine off the Goldwing.
Yeah.
It is, to me, the most complete bike I think I've ever owned.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for coming in and joining us. And like I say, if you've got any questions here at Northwest Honda about anything Honda or Honda Goldwing, we do have our in-house Honda Goldwing specialist as a specialist centre. So if you've got any questions or you want to book your 24-hour test ride, please give us a like, give us a shout, message, comment, or obviously give us a call.